For decades, we have been conditioned to believe that illness comes from external causes, genetics, bacteria, viruses, or simply bad luck. We chase after diagnoses, labeling the body with countless names: depression, anxiety, cancer, autoimmunity, insomnia, digestive disorders. But what if all these names are merely outer shells, concealing a much deeper root? Carl Jung, the great psychologist, pointed out that the true source of most physical and mental suffering lies in the disconnection from our authentic self. Not the self you present on social media, nor the one shaped by a childhood filled with expectations, fears, and wounds, but the primordial self, innocent, free, and genuine, that existed long before the world taught you who you had to become. When you drift away from that innermost self, the body begins to speak. At first, it whispers: fatigue, stress, sleeplessness. But the more you ignore it, the louder it cries: chronic illness, psychological disorders, even life-threatening diseases. This is not punishment, it is a plea from your soul, reminding you that you have strayed too far from yourself. In truth, the body never turns against you. It simply mirrors what the mind and soul are enduring. Every symptom is a message: you are lost, come back. Healing, therefore, does not lie solely in pills or surgery, but in the journey of reconnecting with yourself, with your values, emotions, and most authentic essence. The greatest illness of modern humanity does not reside in the body, but in the rupture from the true self. When we learn to return, to listen, and to live in alignment with who we truly are, the body gradually recovers, because it no longer needs to scream to be heard. Deep within every person lies a shadow, the hidden part, the part we refuse to see or dare not admit. It may be negative emotions like shame, anger, guilt, fear, despair. Yet paradoxically, the shadow holds not only what we despise, but also the potential long buried: creativity, talent, intuition, or inner strength. Since childhood, we were taught to be obedient, to control ourselves, to become what others expect. The times we swallowed anger to please, the tears suppressed, the dreams buried. None of it disappeared. They silently sank into the unconscious, accumulating as darkness. Carl Jung called this the shadow. The problem is, the shadow never stays quiet. It finds ways to surface, and when unacknowledged in the mind, it manifests in the body. Rejected emotions may turn into chronic stomach pain, muscular tension, insomnia, or illnesses modern medicine can name but not fully explain. The immune system, the organs, even every cell can become its refuge. The shadow is the silent architect of disease. It will not vanish by being ignored, nor can it be eliminated by drugs. The more we avoid it, the louder it cries to be seen. The truth is, healing begins when we dare to face our inner darkness. When we courageously admit our anger, shame, or even suppressed power, the shadow no longer needs to hide in the body. It is integrated, accepted, and in return, life energy flows again. The body is only a mirror. Every illness is a reminder that it is time to embrace the shadow, to return to wholeness. The human body is not merely a biological machine of bones, blood, and flesh. It is a spiritual map, a symbolic language the soul uses to converse with us. Every pain, every symptom, every disorder is not simply a system error, but a metaphorical message, a signpost inviting us to listen within. Observe, the legs and feet not only move us, but represent our ability to walk the path of life. When they feel heavy, numb, or painful, the question may not only be injury, but also, am I afraid of moving forward? Am I burdened by responsibilities not mine to bear? Am I hesitating before an important decision in life? Or the skin, the largest organ and the boundary between us and the world, also carries meaning. Skin issues like acne, inflammation, allergies may not only be physiological reactions, but reflections of personal boundaries being violated. Perhaps we feel exposed, scrutinized, or unsafe to reveal our true selves. In many cases, the skin expresses the desire to hide, concealing deep shame or insecurity. The core message is this: illness is not the enemy. It is like an alarm bell or a note from the body reminding, look within, adjust, return to your truth. Instead of hastily silencing symptoms as one would switch off a fire alarm, we must pause to find where the real fire burns. The body is the most honest mirror. When we learn to understand this symbolic language, we not only heal illness, but rediscover the path to inner wholeness and balance. For centuries, science and spirituality were seen as separate worlds. One side, with data, formulas, proof, the other with belief, feeling, and inner experience. Yet recent discoveries show they are two paths leading to the same truth, the boundless power of the human mind and consciousness. Everything begins with thought. Each idea, positive or negative, creates emotions. These emotions are not invisible. They bring specific biochemical changes, hormones, neurotransmitters, biosignals, affecting every cell. This means your thoughts can become medicine, or conversely, a silent poison. Biologist Bruce Lipton, through his famous work on epigenetics, proved that DNA is not a fixed destiny. Human beliefs, perceptions, and experiences are what switch genes on or off, altering cell functions without genetic mutation. In other words, we do not merely inherit genes from our parents. We reprogram our bodies daily through how we think, feel, and live. With this understanding, we realize illness is never random. It is not the roulette of fate, but the body's intelligent way of saying something in thought, emotion, or belief needs change. Disease is the mirror reflecting inner disharmony. The meeting point of science and spirituality opens a new door. Healing is not just in medicine or technique, but begins within. When we transform thought, elevate emotional vibration, we not only change life, we rewrite our biology. For centuries, healing was thought to mean drugs, hospitals, external solutions. But growing evidence from science, psychology, and spiritual practice shows true healing lies not in adding from outside, but in reconnecting within. Healing does not simply mean being free from illness. More deeply, it is the journey of integrating the shadow, the parts we once denied, suppressed, or rejected, so we may return to our authentic self. When we reconnect with body, emotions, and soul, we no longer flee or cut off our fragments, but embrace them into wholeness. That is what brings lasting healing. There are many powerful tools for this process. Breathwork, conscious breathing. Breath is the direct bridge between mind, body, and soul. Through intentional techniques, the nervous system resets, suppressed emotions release, and balance is restored. Plant medicine, traditional herbal rituals. For millennia, indigenous cultures have used plants as a gateway to the soul. With respect and proper guidance, these ceremonies can awaken profound awareness, release trauma, and reconnect us to the sacred universe. Somatic work, body therapy. The body stores every experience, including psychological wounds. Through movement, touch, and felt sense, we can release trauma frozen in muscles, freeing energy to flow. Sound and frequency healing. The universe operates through vibration. The human body is an intricate instrument. When exposed to aligned frequencies, our energy system recalibrates, balances, and self-healing activates. Kambo, Amazonian cleansing ritual. An ancient method from the Amazon where the body is deeply purified, physically and emotionally. Kambo is not just cleansing, but an initiation, pushing beyond limits to access clarity, strength, and courage. All these tools share one essence. They do not try to fix you, but guide you back to yourself. For you were never broken. You only need to remember the original wholeness always within you. Healing is a journey inward, and in that reconnection, you find freedom, peace, and true power. When we dare to face and heal the shadow, the suppressed parts of the unconscious, the body receives a profound message. I am safe. I am whole. I can heal. These are not just affirmations, but biological signals reaching every cell, altering how the nervous and immune systems function. As the shadow is acknowledged and integrated, chronic stress, the root of many diseases, dissolves. The body leaves fight or flight and returns to rest and repair. In this state, inflammation decreases, immunity restores, hormones balance, and chronic conditions once deemed incurable naturally fade. Healing the shadow is like removing heavy armor we wore to hide fear, wounds, or shame. Once no longer repressed, trapped energy is released, creating a new flow, free, light, and vibrant. People often find that after shadow integration, the body grows more flexible, breathing deepens, sleep improves, and the mind clears. The miracle is this: we heal not only the body, but the relationship with ourselves. The body ceases to be a battlefield against disease and becomes a loyal ally, sending clear signals whenever it needs care. Shadow healing is not about erasing darkness, but embracing it in the light of awareness. When we do so, the body affirms, I can recover. I am returning to balance. And in this wholeness, true healing arises. Carl Jung left humanity a profound insight. Every symptom of body-mind is not an enemy, but the language of the unconscious. Each pain, anxiety, or disorder is like a mysterious sign, patiently inviting us to return, to listen, to reconnect with the authentic self. Seen deeply, the real disease humanity faces is not cancer, depression, or anxiety. These are outer expressions. The deepest root is the rupture from self, losing touch with soul, intuition, and the innate essence present. When this fracture occurs, body and mind find every way to signal through pain, fatigue, or crises. For Jung, healing never meant perfection, eliminating flaws or banishing all darkness. On the contrary, healing is integration, embracing both light and shadow, strength and vulnerability, to live true to our nature. When we accept ourselves wholly, even the rejected parts, wholeness is restored. Jung's message reminds us, instead of fleeing pain, see it as a compass. Instead of fearing symptoms, hear them as loving notes from the unconscious. Instead of chasing an ideal self, return to being simple, authentic, whole. In the end, the healing journey does not lead to a perfect self, but back to the true essence, always waiting to live, breathe. Illness has never been the enemy. It does not come to destroy, but to whisper the soul's message. Pause, listen, return to yourself. Every symptom, every ache is a loving call, reminding us it is time to face rather than flee. When we step into the dark, into fear, wounds, rejected memories, we discover the shadow is not a threat. Rather, it is the missing piece that makes us whole. By accepting and integrating the shadow, we open the door for both body and soul to heal. The key lies in returning to the original essence, where life is not mere survival, struggle, or resistance, but wholeness, to live in truth, in connection with soul, in the natural flow of love and trust. The final message of this journey is simple. Illness is not the end, but a mirror inviting reflection, awakening, and rebirth. When we stop fearing and start listening, the body activates its miraculous self-healing. And when the soul is freed, we do not merely survive, we truly live with freedom, wholeness, and radiant light.